Hi everyone, welcome to another video on the direct 3-3 invasion. First, another word on pedagogy. A lot of channels out there, including a lot of those in English, cover these Josekis. And I highly recommend looking at other sources so you can gain a full understanding of these Josekis. Because a single teacher will not mention everything there is to mention, right? So it's good to listen to a variety of sources on these Josekis and see what explanations you like and what explanations can help you understand what's going on. And second, my goal is to provide a very basic explanation to all these Josekis. So please bear with me, right? If you're already a dumb player, maybe check out Michael Redmond's videos. Those are not necessarily shorter, but they're more succinct, right? They don't cover or repeat the basics as much as I do. I like to repeat the basics because if I repeat something across my videos, that means it's really basic and really important. If you're a Q player or a beginner, you really have to know the things that I repeat time and again. So it's worth repeating, right? How we get to this pattern first, right? There are two ways. One is for white to extend here first, and another is for white to play this small knight's move. And when white plays the small knight's move, this is really inviting black to trigger this extremely complicated Joseki that will save until the end. But to avoid this complicated Joseki, black can play this bumping move instead and play the Hane. So we'll get to this point, and now both sides face a choice. It's white's turn. White can take Sente in this situation. And as we've mentioned, black can play this Atari, white connects, and black can stand down here, making this descent, number 15. And 13 and 15 are very big moves that you can play toward the beginning of a game. So this is already one way that you can avoid the Joseki that I'm teaching in this video. It's very important to know how to avoid a Joseki if you don't like it, right? Because the Joseki in this video is a little complicated, and you may or may not like it, and both sides have reasons to hate it because it gets a little tricky, gets a little complicated, and I'll explain that in just a second. White takes Sente, again, it's worth repeating. Very big moves, very solid moves, one of the biggest moves you can find on the board, 13 and 15. But there's also this cut, right? You can cut this way, and now white is cut in half, and there'll be a fight. We'll cover some of these variations as well. Maybe not that smart to start a fight this early, but it does exist, cutting here at number 13. In this video, let's talk about one of the most popular AI Josekis. I want to say basic, it's not that basic, it's a little complicated. One of the popular AI Josekis here is for white to play this Hane from this side. So what it's trying to do is saying, maybe I want part of the corner, right? The corner is very important for building a base. And also it's saying, these three black stones are short on liberties. It's kind of reminding black that you are short on liberties. So that's what this Hane is trying to do. And the optimal move for black is to play this Hane, kind of preventing white from coming into the corner. And now what does white do? White cuts here. It's a really interesting move. You might say black, of course, can capture here, and we can explain more about this later. But this way, what white can achieve is to play another Atari on the outside and kind of seal off black into the corner. And that will count as a success for white, right? You always want to seal off the corner. And this is slightly better for whites. Not that much better. But still, that's what white wants to do. And black may not want that, right? You may not want to be enclosed in the corner. So what does black do? Black can capture number 14, but also number 12 is vulnerable. So black can choose to capture number 12 instead. And now what happens is that white will cut here, Atari, right? This is Atari, pretty dangerous situation, but black can capture first. And now what does white do? Atari again. These three stones only have one liberty left, and black must connect here. And now look at this pattern, right? Try to remember this pattern. Black is basically shaped like a cross, occupying the left side. And now what white needs to do is to take care of number 11, by which I mean to kill number 11, right? Otherwise, if you play here, then black will kill these three white stones instead by pulling out number 11. So white must capture number 11 here, And what's the weakness in white's shape? And that is this cutting point right here. So black can play this cut and also Atari. White must connect here. And now what does black do? It seems tempting to try to kill these 3 white stones right here, because they are also short on liberties. But the actual Joseki does not involve killing these 3 white stones. Instead, black flies out here, right? Because this cross pattern is not completely alive yet. You do not want to trigger a fight. And in this situation, if the board position is like this, then white does not have this ladder. This ladder will bump into number 3 here and will fail. So white doesn't have this ladder. That's something for white to keep in mind when it triggers this whole sequence. Right? If white can capture this way, then this is slightly better for white. If not, then this is slightly better for black. If white cannot capture black on the ladder, then white will have to play this move. And what does black do? It is recommended, especially for amateur players, to add a move here. Very valuable move. And that completes our Joseki. So what happened was that originally, white wanted to build a wall with these 3 stones, radiating towards the left side. But now what happens is that black has the left side, and white's influence is toward the upper side. So white has changed the direction of its wall completely, and that's something that white can do, depending on the circumstances. So again, it's a pretty complicated sequence. So let's walk through this again. White plays the honey here, black blocks, white cuts here first, black captures, white plays these 2 Atari moves, the 16 and 18, black must capture and connect. White captures number 11 here, and we'll get to number 23 here. And if white can capture number 21, what I would need to do is simply add a stone here. Now this ladder will work, and black will still need to play another small knight's move here on the 4th line, kind of pulling it out. I only want to note a couple complications, right? When the ladder doesn't work, white can play here. And it seems tempting for a lot of beginners to try to kill these 3 stones, but white can just sacrifice them and build a stronger wall on the outside. So it's probably not worth it for black to capture, because white's wall on the outside is much stronger, and number 23 is kind of a wasted move, very inefficient, bad shape. So it's not worth it. And what if black doesn't play? The problem with black's pattern is that it's not completely alive. White can still put a lot of pressure on black. And eventually, black will have to play right here to build an extra real eye here. Right? Otherwise, if you keep ignoring white, then white can kill this group. Right? It's not going to be, or it'll be very painful. If you can get to number 31 here, it will be very painful for black to live. And black will be enclosed in this very small space. White has strong influence on the outside. So this is not how black wants to proceed. You do not want to be enclosed in this area, even if you can make out 2 real eyes. So that's why playing here is important. When white has the ladder, it's even more important for black to address this weakness. You have to play this knight's move. If you ignore it, then white's move is even harsher. It's right here, this attachment. And if you play something like this, then of course white will enclose black very easily, like this. Black can still live, but it'll be very painful. The best black can try is this honey. And as white, you have to know the follow-up move. And that's right here, this honey. So obviously, you're giving up number 30, but you get to play this cut, Atari at 34, 36, kind of trying to cut off the cross, right? And of course, black cannot afford to lose all these stones. It's simply too many points. So black will have to connect here on the 1st line. Note that whites cannot block here because black can Atari and kill these white stones. So it's not going to work for white. So white will have to connect here, and black will connect on the 1st line. So it's a very painful way for black to proceed, actually. And white is gaining more points here, and it's actually very solid, right? White is very solid. Black does manage to get out on the 2nd line and the 1st lines, and is a good exchange for white. Very good exchange for white. Why? Because white is no longer afraid of number 21 pulling out. Before, it could be a threat, but because both white groups now, even if they're cut off, are alive, basically. right? So it's not too much of a threat. Whereas, we go all the way back and have black play here, sometime down the line, let's say, if the stone can break the ladder, can they break the ladder? Yes. Now, if black gets to escape, then these 4 stones will be in trouble, right? So that's why it makes a difference who gets to play here on the left side. So that's a little more advanced, and that's how far I want this video to go. But the most basic pattern, once again, is right here. But if you want to see how this is triggered, you have to look at number 12, this Hane right here. It's eventually sacrificed. But the whole point is that white turns around and build a wall toward the upper side instead of the left side. So it is very much in white's control, this change of direction, and it's even better if white can capture number 21 on the ladder. So if you're white in this situation, and if you want to use this Joseki, it is important to set something up so that this ladder will work. And it's black, no matter where white plays, it is advisable to play another move here on the 4th line, kind of making sure that this group gets out, does not get enclosed, and have more influence here on the left side. So this is it for this video, and in the next 1 or 2 videos, we'll dive into some of the complications in this sequence. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Good luck, and thank you for watching.